So cute.
Hey, this is Kathleen. Welcome to my channel, Old World Farmhouse. I usually don't show my garden and the produce, but it's summertime and we have a beautiful garden this year. I can claim no credit for it. My husband is an avid gardener, and recently he surprised me by bringing in all this rhubarb and artichokes and turnips, and it looks so pretty on the counter. I was inspired to show you in my video here. I'm not gonna lie, cooking is not my favorite thing. I love interiors and painting furniture and even painting houses more. So I don't feature, I think this is the first time I've shown myself actually cooking in my kitchen on my channel, but I thought it would be fun just to change things up a little bit. Rhubarb crumble is a family favorite. It's a family tradition in my family. It goes back to my grandma who made it all the time. And I never, ever, ever prepared an artichoke before. This was my very first time. So I have this book, The Art of Simple Food by Alice Waters. And whenever I get the garden produce, I always take that book out because she's got a lot of really simple ways of preparing just vegetables like straight out of the garden. So I gave the artichokes a try, and turnips are an old favorite. I know how to deal with those. So I skinned up some turnips, or peeled some turnips, and we are just really enjoying feasting out of our garden right now. I like to mix the turnips with potatoes to take away some of the bitter and watery flavor that they have. I think the mealy flavor of the potatoes complements them well, so I ended up slicing these and frying them with potatoes, and they were really, really good. Another thing that I do a lot in my kitchen is I make artisan bread in 5 minutes a day. It's a cookbook that I have loved for many years, and it's a great way to get artisan style bread made really, really fast. And I guess that's my kitchen MO. I married into a family of very talented cooks, and before I got married, I wasn't much of a cook myself, but I flung myself into it and I found some things that I do really love to do. And one of them is make artisan bread, especially with this method because there's no kneading and it literally is 5 minutes a day for these yummy, crusty loaves of bread. Recently I've gotten, or last year, for a while I got into making sourdough, and I'd like to get back into it, but it was hard to keep up with. So during the school year, it fell by the wayside, but it's summertime now. And so I've got more time to do things that I like to do, like sit and read design books. I just got Jean Stouffer's book out of the library. But as you can see, I only got to read for a minute before the kids came in and wanted to play Clue. And then it was time for me to rush back to the kitchen. The bread was done. 40 minutes, voila. I love this method. I'll link the book down below if any of you want to check it out. It really could not be easier. So kids and I are really enjoying the slower pace of summer. We played some Clue, got to look at my decor books, and I'm just getting to a lot of projects that were on the back burner during the school year, like steaming my upholstery. I like to tidy up my living room about once a day just to keep it looking nice. There might be other rooms in the house that are in chaos, but at least this one's always more or less in order. So here I am. I washed my pillow covers and just plumping up the pillows and karate chopping all of them. And I just got a clothes steamer, and I really got it because I wanted to see if it could help clean the upholstery in here that I can't take off and throw in the washing machine. This is really frustrating for me, and we have a wood burning fireplace, so this footstool has gotten so filthy just from people sitting near the fire on it. So I got this foam spray cleaner, and it works. It did a lot, but I was hoping that perhaps the steamer would sort of get more of that dirt out. So I gave it a try. on a lot of the pieces in the room. It's really fun to use. I'm looking forward to using it on my clothes as well. Um, I'm not sure that it did exactly what I hoped on the furniture. I had this sort of vague idea that the fibers would relax and release some dirt, and maybe if I vacuumed it afterwards, that would help. I don't know that I saw much of a difference, but I'm going to try it a couple more times before I decide it was a dumb idea. And in the meantime, I can surely use it on my clothes. And it was fun to do. This was the worst chair. But also, like the arms of this sofa, I can take off the pillow cushions and wash them, but I can't on here. I'd really like to make slip covers for all of this furniture, but that is a big job. So for now, I've been wanting to try this all year, and just one of those things that when school and sports are going on, you just never seem to get to these fun little extras like trying to steam your furniture. I really did have a good time doing this. But like I said, I don't know that it made much of a difference. While I was doing it, I thought, I guess maybe do you need something that steams and then also sort of like vacuums it up at the same time? Or maybe I should have rented one of those kits that you can rent. Perhaps this was a harebrained idea, but at least I gave it a try. I've been wanting to give it a try for a while now, and I found some old maid cards hiding in there. This was the next project that I tackled this week. I've been meaning to get to this forever. We have this beautiful rug, but the corner is ripped, and it's getting worse all the time because every time someone comes by and kicks it, it like just, gets worse. I got this repair kit online from Amazon a while ago, and I actually got it to repair a shoe buckle. It's like a shoe repair kit, but I read somewhere that you could also use these really tough needles and wax thread to like repair a rug. And so I got out the wax thread and the super sharp needles, and I just did a blanket stitch to stitch the fringe back on to my rug and kind of bind up that one corner where it's totally ripping to shreds. And here's the finished product. It doesn't look perfect, but at least I've protected the rug. And then another thing I did, this was the quickest and laziest furniture repaint I've ever done. I didn't even take the clothes out of the drawers or the drawers out. I just kind of wanted to give it a quick facelift. You can't really see here, but my little girl has just drawn with crayon on this dresser so much, and pencil, and it's not coming off. So I just decided to give it a super quick impromptu facelift. I do really love to paint furniture, and I felt confident enough in my own abilities that I wouldn't get paint on any of the clothes. And I didn't. I promise I didn't. And it was just kind of a fun, quick thing to do. We were having guests come for the weekend, and I really wanted the girls' room to look as cute and charming as possible. So this is Parisian Patina, my old standby favorite from Sherwin-Williams. I have also discovered, since I painted this in this sort of ballet pink color, that I really prefer more saturated colors, and I always feel kind of uneasy with the lighter, less saturated colors. They just don't give me that same sense of satisfaction. It's just a personal style thing, so I'm pretty happy with how this turned out with its new coat of paint. Then I tackled their little nightstand with Scandinavian pink, which is like a salmon color from Annie Sloan. I really love this color, and I just feel better with the more saturated colors, and my little girl wanted it as well, so she might be following in my footsteps, preferring more saturated and darker jewel tone colors, I guess. I don't know, salmon pink's not really a jewel tone, but I've just noticed over the time I've been painting and decorating that I prefer saturated colors. What about you? I know a lot of people love neutrals or lighter tones. I wonder, I should do a poll. I wonder if I'm in the minority or if it splits pretty evenly. I will do a poll in the community tab and ask y'all because I really would like to know. Sometimes I get comments that people don't like the bright colors in my home, or they clash, or one room to the other. But I actually really like that. It's something I find very soothing, I guess, and warm. I appreciate neutrals, I really do. And I appreciate lighter colors, but in my own home, I always gravitate towards these more saturated ones. And there it is, all finished in their room. My aunt and uncle came to visit, and they brought some furniture with them that they did not want anymore. There's some old family pieces. So it was a couple of tables, and I'm working on incorporating them into my living room. I decided that this round table over here with the two chairs was a little too squashed. Somebody made a comment to that effect on another video I did, and I thought, you know what, they're right. It's too squashy in this corner. And then I just wanted to change it up. So luckily I just got a couple new pieces of furniture to play with too. So first I tried the round table over here with these two armchairs, and I moved this is a fold-out game table. I moved it over to the other wall. But I really ended up not liking the yellows with the sort of creams. I didn't think the colors were very, I just didn't, there wasn't enough contrast or something, and they just did not look as well together as I hoped that they would. So I ended up changing it, which you'll see a little later on. This table is from my great aunt Betty. It's got a leather top, and I decided to try it in this corner. And then once it was there, I thought, oh, this could be a really nice little letter writing station. I've been kind of interested in putting a place to write letters in my living room, like in a Jane Austen novel or something like that. And I was telling my kids how there was a place you'd write letters, and in Persuasion, Captain Wentworth sits down and writes a letter to Anne, and he leaves it on the table and just looks at her meaningfully so that she knows to go over to the writing table and pick up her secret letter. And I said, yeah, I guess they would just have paper and pen available to guests in a house, and whoever wanted to could just sit down and write. And my husband said, yeah, it's kind of like the internet. And I thought, yeah, it's kind of like, when people come over and they ask if they can have your Wi-Fi password. So now we have a little desk to write letters. I got this beat up old letter organizer a long time ago, and I pulled it out, and I put some stationery and pens and stamps in here, and I'm really hoping it'll inspire me to write more letters, especially to my mother, but also to friends. I'm really excited about it. I think it looks really nice in that corner. And my aunt also brought me this lamp, which adds a nice touch, I think, as well. So I'm very excited about my new writing nook. Well, I decided I didn't like that round table there, so I moved it out into the hallway, which I'll show you in another video. I'm kind of excited about what I did with it. And then I moved this reading table that my husband's great-grandfather made. I moved it over there. I've had it over there before, and I like how it works pretty well. It is too tall for the chairs, but I think it's better than the round table, and I think it's better than the game table too, which was a little too wide and was kind of making that side really squashy. First I tried this lamp there, but it's a little bit too big and bulky for that area. So then I got into just switching the lamps around my room. This is the other table that my aunt brought me. It's another little sewing table, and it was from my great-grandmother's house. And so I put it on the other side of the settee. So now I have a sewing table on either side of the settee, using it as an end table. First I tried the other lamp there, but it was too short compared to the blue lamp, so I decided to move all the lamps in my living room around, and I like this arrangement much better. than the other one. Another thing I've been wanting to get to is these pictures were just too high and my kids couldn't reach the chalkboard since we moved it into the kitchen. So I decided to lower them so that the kids could easily, and I could easily reach the chalkboard. And so I switched them around because it used to be behind the chairs and it was really hard to get to. And then the Van Gogh painting I lowered as well. And then I really just eyeballed it, and then I measured, and sure enough, it was the middle of each of these was right at 57, 58 inches, which is pretty much what they recommend. And so I was pretty pleased with that, and I think it's looking much better in there. And it's just one of those little things that now that it's summer, it's just fun to have a little extra time to get to those teeny, quick little projects. Another thing I've been wanting to do is make a pleated shade for this little lamp I have in the hallway. I have been trying to perfect a technique for making these for almost a year now. And as soon as I get it really perfect, I hope to share with you all. This was another attempt of mine, and I ended up pinning the pleats in place right on the shade. I really like these. I think they're called box pleats. I like them a little wider. And then I ironed this teeny little hem at the bottom. I unpinned it from the shade. I ironed this hem in. I don't think the process is perfect yet. I don't have it down to where I'd want to share it. But you can see I'm working through it. And if any of you are interested in these, I hope this gives you some inspiration, and maybe you can tell me how I could do it better too. But I ironed all these pleats that I made with a fork, and then I ironed a hem on the bottom. And you can do these no sew, like you can just hot glue them to the lampshade, but I did end up sewing a hem and sewing the top as well. Where I have run into trouble is trying to keep the hem even all the way around with the pleats, and it's something that I really struggle with. So this is just me kind of working through and trying to figure it out. A couple of my kids had a tummy bug, and so I'm just in the room with them, and we're watching a movie, and I'm standing here fussing with this lampshade cover, and it's just nice to have this slower pace this time of year where we're not always running to sports practice or anything else. Once I got it all ironed, I wrapped it back around the lampshade, and at first I started hot gluing it without sewing it first, mainly because I forgot that last time I did this I sewed it first. But I realized you can do that. You could just iron your pleats into place and then super glue them onto the lampshade, and really it worked fine. Like I put a dot of glue behind the middle of each pleat, and it looked absolutely fine. However, then I realized that once I had it all glued on, in some places the hem was a little shorter than the bottom of the shade. This is what I struggle with, keeping it even. So I took it off, I just ripped it off, and I ended up sewing the hem down and sewing across the top of the pleats as well. And then I reattached it with super glue to the lampshade, and this time I got it so it was at least covering the lampshade, although it's still uneven in the back. Then I just ironed a strip of fabric to cover the top and super glued it around the top without sewing at all. And it covered up most of the lampshade. And I went and put it on the Paris lampshade. I've been dreaming about this for a long time. It's not exactly perfectly how I want it, but I feel like I made some progress and learned some things. So please let me know in the comments below what projects you're tackling this summer if you've got a little more time. And thanks so much for watching. Please give this video a like. I will see you in the next one. Bye.